Hello and welcome back for part 2 of my look at the LEGO Creator 3-in-1 pirate ship set. Last time I looked at the C model, the Skull Island. This time we're looking at the B model. This is the Pirates Inn. Uses a lot more pieces and is a lot more complete. The first impression I get from this is very positive. This looks like it could easily have been a complete model. Like this could be the A model, the main model, or even the only model for a slightly cheaper creator set. You know, just something with maybe, I don't know, 20-25% less pieces and a similarly lower price point. It's just not looking like it's made from some other set that's been recycled. This looks purpose-built, even down to some pretty nice, pretty fine details. Now, it's not completely closed off on the back. There's a strong suggestion here that there's more to this building in the in the fantasy world, that this has just been kind of sliced off and that there would be an additional structure out here. The balcony area, I'm not sure. Maybe that's actually an open center section, something that kind of leaves some questions there, but certainly the outside is detailed up pretty well. It just looks like a creator set and not a creator expert set. You know, it looks like a low to medium level creator set with the use of just normal Lego pieces in interesting ways, sometimes unconventional, sometimes not the most clean finishes. Like you've got some open studs here shown on the front to give some texture. You know, not everything is finished off to the maximum possible level, but it feels appropriate for creator. In my look at the C model, the Skull Island, I made fun of a brick-built animal that they did for that one, which was some sort of monkey ape thing that just didn't look right, especially next to minifigures. But I'm not going to make fun of this horse. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a horse. Looks like a horse to me, because this is good. Like this is a really good use of these pieces. I think it scales very well to a figure. I feel like it fits in a Lego way in the universe with the minifigures. So I'm completely satisfied with this. You can pose the legs. You can turn the head up and down a bit. It's hooked up to this buggy or cart here, which has the chest on the back. There's nothing in there right now, but you know, of course you can put whatever you want in there, and there are plenty of leftover pieces. And this has a spot for a minifig to sit there, or one could also sit on the back of the horse, or both. And these plate wheels actually turn. That's nice. So this is just a really good start. As promised, I'm going to show the figures in each of these 3 videos because somebody might skip one of them, not be interested in one of the builds. So here we've got the pirate ship captain, first mate, and then just a deckhands, general crew member. I like the design of this print, although the opacity of some of the colors is not so good. The silver parts came out well. I think the nougat part for the strap came out well. The red is okay, but then the white and the yellow really need to be brighter. I feel like this one's a little bit better than the last one of these that I got for the previous model that I reviewed. But then over here on the first mate, so his white stripes really aren't white. They're not bright. And Lego can do better than that. And Lego's all about, maximum quality and only the best will do, blah, blah, blah. So I will not accept any excuses. Sometimes hardcore fans like to make excuses for Lego's mistakes and shortcomings. I'm just not going to make those excuses or accept those excuses because I know they can do better, and we are paying premium prices for these little pieces of plastic. So I think consumers deserve the best that's promised to us. There's also a skeleton figure, just a standard modern style, and they actually don't ask you to build this one for this model, but the pieces are in the set, so why not? And oh yeah, I almost forgot to talk about the build that's in this guy's hands because it's just so natural and pretty dang perfect. It's an accordion, just a handful of pieces used for it. He's able to hold on with both hands. It scales well to him. It's just pretty perfect. The inn or tavern or whatever you'd like to call it even has its own sign with the suggestion of a tapped barrel out front just hanging. Obviously that's going to be empty, but I mean, you could use your imagination. I suppose you could turn that into a shower, an outdoor shower if you want. It can actually turn out this way as an alternate way to pose it up, which makes it more visible from the side here. Well, since I turned it over to here, you can see the water wheel. So this is supposed to be right up against, I'm assuming maybe the outlet of a river or something, not necessarily just on the sea, just on the coast, it would have to have some continuously flowing water, but this is connected to something inside that's a little bit simple, but I will show you that once we get in there. Got some vines growing up the side. That makes sense and is a good way to use up a bunch of the studs on the side pieces that are included in the set. I've got some nice different angles used and set up for the roof, including on the front. These bits here are attached with Mixel's ball joints, so you can kind of play around with their angles a bit. I like how the windows are put together there. Nice large open entranceway, a nice deck right there. That could be considered part of a dock. That's actually on the sea side of this. And here you've got a crane for moving some materials in and out. That could be used on land. It could be used with boats, up that are docked by here. This looks like it's a bit of shore with the rocks there. Got a little bit more detail around the sides. Again, another thing that can be angled a bit with just the lamp there. I actually kind of like it in closer like that, but you can go either way with it. I think this was supposed to be storage for water or collection for water because you've got this kind of sail up here that looks like it could be used for exactly that, to collect rainwater as it comes along. In one of the pictures on the box, they show a figure up there just chilling probably while it's sunny and he just wants to be alone. There's a little spot down here. It's a little, it's like a doggy door that you could use as a secret entrance, or I don't know, maybe that could just be used for garbage. Like that's where the garbage flows out or something, or a secret storage space. I don't know. This right here, well, we'll get back to that because this looks awkward right now. We'll get back to that. But let me just finish coming around the back here. You have just a little bit of access to get in here. Basically, this is a table. There are a couple of seats here. You can only use one at a time. You can go right up to this, which is intended to be a tap. So I'm assuming that's where you would be getting some mead from, or some root beer. Yes, root beer, of course. And then upstairs, well, we'll get better access to that momentarily. I just wanted to show you some additional details up top with this bird. I don't think I've seen that exact build for a bird before. Creators always trying to introduce something slightly different for bird designs, and this one succeeds at that. It has some nice colors, and this is a little bit of a crow's nest up here. And I think that's about it. It is time to do the big reveal over here. All this swings open. There we go. Now there's just a little bit more continuity over here. Now what doing this does is, well, one of two things. For one, you can imagine that now there's a large space back here in the L zone back here that's just kind of not depicted. So this is actually part of the shape of the building, and it kind of makes it feel like it's even longer and even larger. And there's just more stuff that isn't depicted here in physical form, or you can just see it as an easy way to get access to the interior. And that's the most important thing. So for example, over here we have the table. Now you can get to the other side of the table more easily, the inside portion of the seating there, the booth there. And look at this. Talk about access. They actually have access for minifigures to get up to the second level. It's something that LEGO frequently doesn't do in sets at all. So it's nice that that's actually suggested there, and it works a lot better. Like, it makes more sense when it's closed up like this, but once you open it, it's giving us humans better access to get into here to the entrance area. I've got the tap over here. You can imagine like this is the bar area, and little steps even to get up from ground level into that. That's a nice little extra thing that wasn't absolutely necessary. The water wheel is able to turn something over here. You can imagine that this would be, in universe, this would be hooked up to like a flour grinder or something. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that they didn't put any suggestion of anything that's actually connected to. But yeah, it just kind of needs like a table beneath there or something to suggest that it's actually doing something. I think would have made more sense there. But certainly there are leftover pieces I think that many of us could use to fill that in. And I'll show you the leftover pieces later on as well. Just a little bit of extra detail on the wall that provides some texture and covers up some of the studs on the side, studs on the side pieces. Actually, there are a couple more that could have been covered up on this upper level. This upper level obviously has the sleeping quarters. So you've got a couple of beds there in blue and one in red. I'm assuming that like a captain would sleep over here, and then just regular crewmates would sleep over there. On the wall, got the flintlock pistol has its own clip, and there's also a map up above, and that's pretty much it. A little extra space to have a couple of people actually standing up in there. You can't really use this attic space effectively, but I should point out that it's interesting what they did here for the roof, the build of the roof. This is going to actually open up, and it looks like these are frame, like these could be easily frame members of a ship. Like this, it almost feels like this could have been made from a ship there, but there's not really anything you do there. It's just an interesting texture, an interesting way that gets put together. And that's about it for the build of this thing. This is the batch of leftovers this time around. So it's still a significant quantity of parts, and certainly there's enough here to make some custom stuff. But when I really look at what types of parts are included here, like these are useful to build up something, and then you've got a bunch of these parts that are going to be used as sail pieces on the main build. But a lot of this stuff is really miscellany. There's not a lot of major substantive stuff I think that could easily be made from this. I feel like the designer didn't really leave much out. Like certainly you can cobble together a lot of stuff and make something that looks like a rainbow, or something that is physically large but is very fragile, would not have met the standards of a Lego build. So I feel like the designer did a very good job of utilizing a large number of the parts and leaving behind just real leftovers. It feels like leftovers, and I don't feel like I could make too much from this that could have been within an actual Lego set. All told, this is good, especially considering the context of it being built from the pieces of a pirate ship. Like I said, this practically could have been released as its own standalone model. The quality level is there. The charm level is there. If this had been designed from the start to be its own thing, it just would have had fewer random parts and colors. It would have been a little bit more succinct in its build. This took about hour and 45 minutes, I want to say, for me to build. And then on top of that, of course, there's also the time required to sort the parts, because this is an alternate model from Creator. So step one is open all the bags. And if you want to get it done within a reasonable amount of time, you should sort the pieces out first, at least into piles, or if you got Tupperware, little bowls or something. It helps to sort things in ways that make sense to you, because it's a lot of pieces. It's 1,200 and some pieces. It is a lot to go through hunting for every single thing one by one. So I sorted stuff by like 1x3 and up plates, 1x1 and 1x2 plates, 2x plates, slopes and curves, modified bricks, regular bricks, stuff like that. Wedge plates were in their own, like major categories of parts. Really helped a lot. And I really didn't rush this. I'm sure that if I had done it more at race speed, at race pace, I could have gotten it done in probably about an hour and a half, maybe just a little bit less than that. Still about 2 hours in total, including sorting out parts. But I hope you enjoyed the look at this. Like I said, I've already done the C model, and up next is the major one, the one that's going to use all the pieces, the pirate ship itself. So stay tuned for that. I've got the speed build up for this as well. I'll talk to you again soon.